again. And today we're just going to look over the old Monster High website because I recently found it. Well, not recently, but I found it on the Internet Archive titled The Wayback Machine. So we're going to look over the characters today. I think I'll do this in series, maybe. Look over, like, the games, the videos, characters, all of that separately. Also, I do apologise if my voice sounds horrible. I am sick at the moment. But we'll open these first, because the main 5 are cool. But where is Gaulia? How is Gaulia not up here? We have to find Gaulia first. I don't think there is a Gaulia. Oh no, there is. I just didn't see it. So we'll have a look through. Okay, it's not going to let me open it in a new tab. We're just going to have to go on it and then go back. And I think it should have loaded everything. Looks like it has. The first one we have is Claudine Wolf. What is this? I don't know what this bit is. The first one we have is Claudine Wolf. The daughter of werewolves, age 15. Are they 15 in the show? I didn't realise they were 15. I thought they were like 16, 17 maybe. And it says Claudine is from a huge family. She has many siblings. She's lost count. No joke. That is true. Wolves tend to have a lot of pups in the litter. She'll be the first to tell you when a ghoul grows up. Just one in a pack. Okay, I'm not gonna read that. It's very confusingly worded. I lost track of where I was reading. Hold on a minute. There we go. Claudine is bold, confident, and clawsomely talented. Ever since Claudine was a pup, she screamed of being a famous fashion designer and stylist, and she's well on her way. At only 15, in canine years. How is that in human years, then? I don't know. She's already opened her own salon. The Fierce Salon serves monsters and humans equally. Don't let her sassy persona fool you. Claudine believes in peace, love, and style. Oh, I get it. They made a reference to the peace, love, unity thing. We're gonna have a look at her favourite food, which is steak. Rare. Her favourite activity is shopping and flirting with boys. Can't say that I agree with you on that, Claudine. Killer style. I'm a fierce fashionista who was born to design. They should have wrote who there. Maybe. I love to sink my claws in the latest trends and put my own spin on them. Love my outfits as well as my girlfriends. But okay, I don't think the grammar in this is very up to date with the most recent grammar. It's very confusingly worded. Her pet is my scary cute little kitten Crescent. Is as fuzzy as I am. She's fuzzy? Okay. That's learning new stuff about the characters. Wow. Her pet peeve is I hate having so many of my brothers and sisters in school at the same time. They're annoying, embarrassing, and totally know how to push my buttons. From what I've heard from my friends that have siblings, yes, apparently they are like that. The monster quirk is my hair grows ferociously long. Oh, ferociously fast. Heck, well, I mean, I wasn't entirely off. So I can change up my look whenever the mood strikes, which is typically several times each lunar cycle. And if I'm not mistaken, a lunar cycle is like once every 2-3 weeks? I think, or it's a month. Not too sure. Personal monster, which I think that's like a play on the word mantra. Don't know if I said that right. It says, I love designing fashion, hairstyles, and makeup. For me, it's an expression of how I feel on the inside. Fair enough, Claudine. Do what makes you happy. And her friends. Oh, there we go. We can go to them through this instead of struggling. We'll go to Ghoulia Yelps next, though. Oh, wait, they're up here as well. I did not see that. The next one is Ghoulia Yelps, which, personally, my favourite character. We love Ghoulia. We believe in Ghoulia supremacy here. Ghoulia Yelps, daughter of the zombies, age 16 in monster years. This is probably why I thought they were all 16, because I think I knew that she was 16, so I was like, oh yep, they all must be 16 and 17. Oh wow, we're not going to read the zombie, because I can't read zombie, but we'll read the translation. I may not be the fastest ghoul in school, but I am definitely the smartest. I am a freaky fab problem solver, and I love to help out my friends, especially my bestie Cleo Denial. I am a comic books fangirl. Deadfast is my favourite. I also like to hang out with my boyfriend Slomo Mordovich. Don't know if I said that right. Also, kind of a random thing. I recently saw Deadfast Ghoulia on sale, not sale, being sold for $400. That's New Zealand dollars, by the way, which I don't think that's a lot in US dollars. So if you're from the US, congrats, you can get a Deadfast Ghoulia quite cheap. Her favourite food is brains. Just kidding. I actually have quite the affinity for rapidly prepared mass market cuisine. Translation, I like fast food. Fair enough. Oh, that's actually quite funny, because she likes dead fast. She likes fast food, and that's in contrast with her not being the fastest ghoul. That's pretty interesting how they done that. Her favourite activity is, I love to read and learn new things. Books always fit into my schedule. Agreed, Ghoulia? Agreed. Her killer style is my horn-rimmed nerd glasses. They absolutely go with everything. I thought that she wore them because she was visually impaired. I guess that makes sense, because I don't have like a frame through them. Not frame. The glass piece. And her next one is pets. My owl, Sir Hoots a Lot, is the perfect companion, even though he absolutely refuses to be a message carrier for me. That does indeed suck. That would be cool if you had like an owl that delivered messages from in Harry Potter. Her pet peeve is last minute schedule changes and monsters who cannot speak zombie. There is nothing quite so frustrating as arriving late and having to explain why to a monster that does not understand you. That is painful. Just imagine that you just show up late to class and you're like, oh yeah, I'm sorry for coming late. And the teacher just stares at you blankly and then starts speaking another language and you're like, oh great. Not again. Her monster quirk is, I cannot function without a proper schedule, and I do not process last-minute changes very well. My zombie nature also means that I walk rather slowly, have trouble making facial expressions, and can only speak, well, a zombie. Okay, but I have a way out there assumption. But is Ghoulia's character autistic coded? That sounds very, very similar, to having trouble with facial expressions and talking and stuff. Interesting. Personal monster. I think I do not claim to have the most brains, but you just... That's a lie, Ghoulia, that's a lie. But I enjoy using my intellect and imagination to ponder the mysteries of unlife. Well, fair enough. She seems like a philosopher, kind of. I think. Maybe. Her friends, Cleo Denial, Frankie Stein, and Claudine Wolfe. Fair enough. And the next one we'll look at is Draculaura, which we have a tab open for that, thankfully. I think this is from her electric thing. The doll. I don't remember what episode it's from, but I know. Or maybe it's from a movie. I'm not sure. The Daughter of Dracula. Age 1599. Which I think that just translates to 15 and like on the verge of being 16. Dracula is bright, ambitious, and scary optimistic. I just realized something. Ghoulia didn't talk about herself in the third person, but Dracula is. Interesting. And not just for a vampire, for any monster. What's a not just for a vampire? Oh jeez. Scary optimistic, I think. She was raised by her doting father, Dracula, and he could be totes strict, but they always had fun, especially when he taught her how to fly. And she maintained cheerful. Oh yeah, the grammar's horrible. And she maintained a cheerful outlook on unlife. Together, but alone, they lived in a mansion on the hill overlooking Normie Town. Dracula loved her father, but really wanted friends her own age. Well, not her age. She is 1,599 years old, after all. But friends who were, age adjacent. So she talked her scholarly father into opening a school for other monsters. Isn't that a fantastic idea? Told you she was bright and ambitious. That is very ambitious. I was going to say, I think there's, like, stuff down there for the characters that I missed, but never mind. My favourite food is going to be blood, I bet you. Definitely blood. Totally not like she's vegetarian or anything. Oh, she's vegan, close enough. It's almost the same thing. Her favourite food says, I'm a vegan. No icky blood for me, so it's fruits, vegetables, and a lot of iron supplements. She makes a good point. If you're like a vegetarian or a vegan or something, take a lot of iron supplements, because it's unhealthy to not eat any iron. Her favourite activity is smiling, laughing, and encouraging her friends. Fair enough, cool. Draculaura, that's a lovely favourite activity to have. Her killer style is to contrast edgy black with cheerful pink. My taste in fashion is sweet, just with a little bite. Fair enough, that's what we see here. Pink and black. Pretty much everywhere, if you minus the yellow, blue, and I think that's it, just yellow and blue are the only two different colours there. Her pet is Count Fabulous. And, oh wait, I'm just going to have to read this without wording it differently. Count Fabulous is my BFF. Bat friend forever. He's a very proud and proper bat, but I just can't help but dress him in the cutest little outfits. Yeah, I don't think that's worded right. Her pet peeve. The lack of vegan selections in the Monster High Creepateria is so sad. Fair enough, they should have things like that, just if your high schools and schools provide food for kids, they should have these options as well. And they should appropriate, like, supplements for certain things that they don't get in their meals. Her monster quirk is that she can't see her reflection in a mirror, so she always risks looking a little batty. But, thanks to centuries of practice, she's scary good at applying lip gloss. understandably, like, no mirror, you gotta rely on other people staring at you. Oh my gosh, imagine that. There's like a vampire restaurant or something, and when the lady's going to fix their makeup, they're all just staring at each other with the lip gloss and stuff. That is pretty funny. Her personal monster is, I soar, I can fly, so I have a bat's eye view of everything. I think that's why I always see the good in the world. Fair enough. And her friends, which she has many, so many, we'll have a look in a moment, because next, I believe, we have Frankie Stein. I'm also telling you guys now that I'm not going to look over, like, every single character here. I'm only going to look over the ones that I recognize. I was correct, it was Frankie Stein. Oh, Frankie, what did you do to your hair? Looks kind of horrifying, Frankie. But in a good way. Frankie Stein, the daughter of Frankenstein. I think I just said Frankenstein. I meant Frankie Stein. Age 115 days old. So, translation to 15. But some parts of me are older than others. How'd they keep the limbs that long then? It's a little worrying. Frankie has a special spark that makes her seem more alive than other girls. It's reflected in her curiosity and enthusiasm for everything life has to offer. Does she mean unlife? Well, I suppose it doesn't really mean unlife there, because this is the only life she's ever known. Maybe. Not too sure. Created in her father's lab, she grew up with the knowledge that there was just so much to do and see in the world. So she ventured out on her own, with her parents just an eye cough and chat away, of course. And that's how she met Draculaura, and together, the new girlfriends journeyed to find other monsters their age being a state of brain, and formed a school where everyone is welcome. They even became co-presidents of the student body. And lately, she's really been getting into science class, where voltageous experiments are always bubbling up. Her dad says that she's a chip off the old block, but she likes to think that she's her own monster. I find it cool that Draculaura and her were, like, immediately friends. Because they're both, like, older than a lot of the teenagers in Monster High. At least I think, anyway. Maybe. And also the age of being a state of brain, it only applies to here. It doesn't apply to real life, by the way, if you think that. If you're, like, wondering, that's only for the Monster High world. Because they're monsters. Her favourite food is nothing. Getting a taste for something new always gives her a jolt of happiness. Her favourite activity is nothing, because she wants to experience everything before she has to choose. Her killer style: now that I have a school where I belong, I love my outfits to be a little preppy, and a lot stylish. I think electric blue plates are especially voltageous. I don't think she's wearing any at the moment, though. On this, at least. If we scroll up here, you can see there's blue plates there. On her skirt, I think. Her pet is Whatsit. I'm not sure of all the things he's made from, but Watsit's pet license is 10 pages long. That's a tiny bit worrying. Her pet peeve is every morning when she goes upstairs. Again, the grammar is confusing, but every morning when she goes upstairs, her father insists on grinning and shouting it's alive. Which, that's absolutely hilarious. The monster quirk is sometimes her stitches come loose, and it's like her limbs have a brain of their own. When she offers you a hand, don't be shocked if she means it literally. I think that did happen in one of the episodes. I don't remember where, and also in the new Monster High movie, I think in the little play view thing, they did literally offer her a hand. Or she literally offered someone a hand. And the personal monster is... I try everything. She quoting a singer there? I like to explore and experience and live everything the world has to offer. Fair enough, Frankie, that's... What's the word? It's a good thing to have. Her friends, we will go over her friends later, because I believe next we have Laguna. It is Laguna. Laguna Blue. The daughter of a sea monster. Age 15. My theory that Goalie is the oldest, maybe, right? Not too sure. Since she's friends with Cleo, I'm assuming that Cleo and her are seniors, and the rest of them are juniors. Mainly, like, that would make sense as to why Cleo and Goalie aren't really considered main characters. More like sub-main characters. I think she's also Australian, Laguna. Laguna's Australian, so that's amazing. Laguna is excited to have ridden all the way... to have ridden the wave all the way to Monster High, where she has loads of new mates. Laguna hails from down under, the Great Scuria Reef, to be exact, but she's a chill ghoul who can fit in anywhere with any monster. Laguna loves to lead an active lifestyle. She can usually be found fanging 10 in the surf or running out on the beach. But although water is her fave, she's swell land sports too. You wouldn't believe how fast she moves on her skateboard or scooter. Although Laguna misses her family, she's totally down with attending a school that's just for monsters, and thinks it's a fantastic experience. Fair enough. I think I like to play on the Australian terms and stereotypes that they have. It is quite funny, because not all Australians are quite athletic or anything. I do find that funny. We'll take a look at her favourite food. Sushi. Does that count as cannibalism, since she's an aquatic creature? Is Laguna a cannibal? Her favourite activity, anything that involves being in, on, or around the water. They forgot a comma there. That's... okay. Killer style, I keep it casual. Throw sporty, cute, surfer chic. So I'm always up for whatever's going on that sounds fun. Fair enough, practical, but like stressing herself nicely. Her pet is Neptuna, a pet piranha, and she's got a special purse that's actually a fishbowl, so she can secretly take Neptuna to class. If you've got pet fish and you're considering doing this, please don't. It just stresses the fish out. This is only pretend. Don't actually do this with your fish. It will stress them out and they may die. Her pet peeve, anyone who treats the ocean like it's his or her own personal trash can. Fair enough, Laguna, that does suck when people do that on purpose. Her monster quirk. When I'm out of water for too long, I develop frightfully dry skin. I slather on so much skin cream, sometimes I'm as slippery as an eel monster. That reminded me of that one scene from the Owl House where King says, "You can't catch me," or "I'm as slippery as butter," or something. I don't remember, but it's really funny. Personal monster. I float. I'm very chill in and out of the water. I try not to sweat things, but when I do, I just swim it off. Fair enough. Physical exercise is good for getting rid of stress and all that. And she's got heaps of friends. But we'll move on to the next person, which I'm not sure who it is. It might be Cleo? Not too sure. We'll have a look though. I was right, it's Cleo. Cleo Denial. The daughter of the mummies. Age 3,357, give or take a few years. I'm a bit concerned because if we're translating it just by removing the last two numbers, she'd be 33, which I don't think that's right. I'm a bit concerned if she is 33 in monster years then. I don't think she is there. But it would kind of be fitting for her character, for her to stay in school for that long because she cheats on things and stuff. As a descendant of Egyptian royalty, I reign over the student bodies of Monster High. I'm captain of the Fair Squad, and my boyfriend, Des Gorgon, is fiercest monster in school. My older sister, Nephra, and my frenemy, Toralei. Frenemy? I didn't realise there were frenemies. Bring out my competitive side, but I'm not a diva without feelings. I'm a true friend too. Just ask my bestie, Golia Yelps. That is good to point out, like, some of the people that are like Cleo in a way, they tend to act like mean or competitive or whatever, but they can also be nice. Not all of the time though, but I like how they worded it, so she's not like portrayed as really mean, but she's still portrayed as like competitive and stuff. I'm not wording it very well. Her favourite food is grapes, especially when someone is feeding them to me. I think that ties into grapes being like considered like a rich people thing in some countries. I think it was especially in Egypt. I'm not sure, but that's a good detail. I'm also going to pause the recording for like 5 seconds to get water. So if I come back sounding different, that's why. And we are back. I believe we got up to her favourite activity, which is ruling the halls of Monster High and being captain of the fear-leading squad. Fair enough, that does sound like fun. Akila's style is the finest fashions and exotic jewellery befitting a true Egyptian princess, but that doesn't mean she doesn't like to keep it real. Again, playing on like the stereotype of these like the people similar to Cleo. I don't want to like say they're bimbos, but similar to bimbos. It sounds similar to that. They're playing on the stereotype, but they're portraying them as having feelings as well, which is, I think that's quite nice. And her pet is Hisset, a sweet Egyptian cobra. Her hiss is honestly much worse than her somewhat poisonous bite. Cobra. Okay. I don't know a lot about snakes, so I thought that some cobras weren't poisonous. I'm not too sure. Her pet peeve is when someone refuses to obey me, and having to deal with my sister Nephra. I mean, that's a little concerning as a pet peeve, apart from the sibling thing. Her monster quirk, the dark. Yes, I'm a monster who's afraid of the dark. Get over it. You try being locked in a tomb for a millennia. Fair enough. Personal monster is I rule. I'm a natural leader. Whatever I wrap my mind to do, I always come out on top of the pyramid. Trying to like think of how they done play on words here as well, which is interesting. We'll have a look at her friends later. I think, didn't Draculaura consider her a friend? As said. We'll go and look at the characters again, because we finally got through the main six. I had to pause it while it loaded, but it should be good now. Abby Abominable. I think she had a cousin. I don't remember who it is. We're only going to look at the ones that I recognise, because I wouldn't be able to do much talking about their characters then. I may pause it while I go through all these characters, just to keep it like a surprise at who we're going to look at. But we will be back in a short moment. Right, we are back, and I didn't expect to recognise so many of them, so I did leave some of them out. I only got, like, the ones that I do remember what they say in the show. First we have Headless Headmistress Bloodgood, the Headless Horseman. Age, wise enough to be your grandmother, young enough to be your sister. So I'm assuming she's going to be like in her 20s maybe. Her favourite food? Fresh scones with marmalade and a cup of tea. Delightful. Fair enough. Her favourite activity? Bringing together monsters from different cultures and backgrounds and watching them discover that the commonalities far outweigh the differences. Fair enough. That does seem like fun. Her killer style? Sable cape, high collared blouse, riding boots, yardstick, and a book on grammar. You should have given the book on grammar to whoever wrote some of these things. Her pet? Nightmare is a horse, and is a constant companion. Although her nervous demeanour bellies her rather intimidating name, she is almost ready to charge into any situation at a moment's notice. Almost. Her pet peeve? Young monsters that presume they have nothing left to learn. It is distasteful to see such narrow-mindedness in the young. Which is something that we see nowadays, but more of a lack of desire to learn. We are missing something here. Don't remember what it is, though. I think it's something to do with... I'm not actually too sure. Her monster quirk: a lady does not disclose such things in public. It is unseemly, although I must confess that sometimes my head and body find themselves in separate locations. Sounds like a trouble to have. Troubling trouble to have. Well, she's got some good friends at least. I wonder why they didn't put any of the other staff, faculty, people on there, though. Kind of a shame, really. Up next, we have, I think, Claude Wolf. I'm not too sure. I might be crazy. Oh no, it's Abby Abominable. There are so many tabs, it's going to be so hard to keep track of them all. I think this is her doll from the... What's it called? The Zombie Shuffle? The Ghoul Shuffle? I can't remember. The video where Golia accidentally created something that made everyone dance. I think that's her design from that. Daughter of the Yeti. Age 16. I try not to make icy first impressions, but I can't help being honest. Don't understand the games ghouls play. Like, why I'm not into Heathburns. He's funny. I like to laugh. Done. Fair enough. That's a lovely way to look at things. People in relationships just need to understand that honesty is best. Her favourite food? Cheese of yak and pancakes. Fair enough. Favourite activity? Boarding on the snow is maxed out totally to the awesome. I like how the grammar in here isn't quite good. Because where she's from, she used to speak quite bluntly. So now she's getting used to adding in, like, fluffy words, if you will. Her killer style? Fur. It is It is practical for blending in and the showing off. My special ice crystal I also wear for perpetuating of bodily coldness of my home. I think it just keeps her, like, temperature that she's used to, I think. Her pet? Shiver. A woolly mammoth. Her feelings being the kind not so easily punctured. The personal monster. That's what we were missing before with, the headmistress. Right, now look at her pet peeve. The ritual of the dating. I do not understand the trapping of the boy with the bait of flirtation. It seems to me not honourable. I agree, Abby. I agree. The ritual of the dating is very confusing. The monster quirk. I am lapping? I am lacking in the tact. At altitude, talking is an oxygen waste. So words are pointed. I am often puncturing the feelings here down below. I am not wishing to fill others with the sadness, but sometimes I do. Also, I am cold, both in the touching and being touched. Fair enough. I thought tact was being blunt. I might be wrong. Oh no, tact is kind of like beating around the bush, I think. Don't quote me on that though. I'm not too sure. Her personal monster is I truth. I speak honestly and from the heart's bottom. My words sound cold, but you can trust your ears hearing. Fair enough, Abby, fair enough. Quite a few friends as well. Cool. Fun. I think... What was I going to say? I think she'd probably get along, like, quite well with Ghoulia Yelps, because they're very similar with how they... Not word things, but they are quite honest. I think the next person we have is from a special episode they done with, like, 3 different characters that all came to Monster High to make friends or something, or all for their own quests. I forget her name, though. Betsy Clara? Don't quote me on that. I butchered her name so bad. Her doll design's pretty cool, though. I like it that she comes with an accessory as well, because she was like 2 accessories. 3 accessories. A lot of accessories. She was like a one-time character, so I find it cool that they put in so much detail into her doll and stuff. Daughter of the White Vampire Bat. Age 17. I think it's cool how they made her the daughter of like a white vampire bat, because I think her character was all about preserving like the natural and stuff. And typically people, if they see like an albino creature, they're like, yep, I'm gonna kill it as a trophy, instead of just preserving it and stuff. I think that's a cool little detail. And she's a nature-loving bat who's fiercely passionate about protecting the environment. There we go, as I said. Rescuing an endangered plant may be what brought me to Monster High, but my mission to teach monsters how to care for the planet is what will keep me rooted here. Fair enough. I think we're missing... Yeah, we're missing the monster again. Or the monster. I forget how it's spelled. Favourite food. Blood. Oranges. I was a bit concerned because I read it as organs and I was like, wait, what? Her favourite activity, introducing monsters to the jungle for the first time. Seeing their faces fried up at the unnatural wonder of it all never gets old. Fair enough. I think like, my family goes hunting quite a bit, so we go into the bush sometimes, and, like, talking to some of my friends about it, they look, like, absolutely horrified. And it's pretty funny. Oh, I think they meant light up here, instead of literal fry it. But, oh well, it's still pretty funny. The killer style. I take my fashion inspiration from the jungle around me, like the green of woven palm fronds and the bright colours of orchids. They help me blend in and stand out all at the same time. Fair enough, that's cool. Pet? Perish the thought. Fair enough. Her pet peeve? When monsters want to take flora or fauna from the jungle back home with them. I understand why they would wish to do so, but the best place for any plant or creature is its home. Fair enough. We used to, like, me and my friends used to do that when we were little. We used to take barnacles from the beach and stuff, and, like, bugs, and then our parents would make us release them before we left, which was actually a good practice, so that we didn't, like, take things from their home. Her monster quirk is that she has a real hang-up with monsters who choose to stay in the dark when it comes to protecting the world where we live. This is the only world we have, and we shouldn't be turning a blind eye when it comes to taking care of it. I mean, fair enough. That's true. I'm trying to think of a word. Completely forgot my word. the word. English isn't working, okay? Friends. She has 2 friends. I don't think I opened her tab, but she's a cool character. If you do some reading on her yourself, if you want, because I like her character a lot. It's very similar to her, but it's more animals and documenting them. Up next, though, we have Claude Wolf, I think. Not too sure. Again, there are so many tabs. I was right. The monster dolls for the male characters, they look really funny to me. I don't know why, because I tried to make them appealing to girls who play with dolls and stuff. it looks kind of really funny. Son of the Werewolf, age 17. I love football and basketball. Oh, basketball. But you can't be a fierce superstar athlete forever, so I'm also scary focused on my studies. That's a good thing to have. Like, typically with, like, I think it's a play on stereotypes of quite sporty guys that are in high school. They are portrayed as, like, idiots and stuff, but they're not necessarily. They aren't. I think that's interesting. I'm furiously being busy playing sports and studying, but I always have time for my gold Draculaura. That's cool. But if you have time for your girlfriend, make sure to have time for your friends too, because I think the friends do get a bit left behind sometimes. Favorite food: steak and lots of it. Quite the contrast to Draculaura. Favorite activity: I love football. I love the training, the strategy, the competition, and the atmosphere on the game day. It's the perfect sport. I also would like to point out that Draculaura and Claude being portrayed as a couple in the show is quite good, because it's kind of like their races are portrayed as quite hateful towards one another, so I think it's like an attack on stereotypical racism or something. I'm not too sure how to word it, but I think it's quite like that. Killer style, casual. Oh my gosh, I don't know what that is. I think that just means casual as Claudine. Maybe. It would be dumb for me not to listen to fashion advice from her. I think that just means that whatever he wears, he just got it from Claudine. He also doesn't have a personal monster. Pet, a gargoyle bulldog named Roxina. That's amazing. She's my number 1 rock solid fan. I find that really, really funny. And his name was Roxina. The pet peeve: monsters who think that basketball and football players are all dumb jocks. I'll compare GPAs with anybody. Okay, maybe not anybody, but Gaulia Yelps. Oh, maybe anybody but Gaulia Yelps. I like, again, that they're taking, like, almost like a defensive thing against a stereotype, which is, I think that's pretty interesting. Monster quirk: I shed a lot. When I get out of the shower, my family becomes the proud owners of a fur-lined tub. I might as well comb my hair with a lint brush and save the extra step. Don't really understand what that means, but that is pretty funny. And I didn't open his tab, I don't think, but we're gonna do that now, because he's one of the semi-main characters, so that's the character we're looking at next, I think. Maybe. We will look at his character next, and then we'll look at, if you know the show, you'll know the character that we're going to look at after that. If you know, you know. If you don't, soon you will. Jackson Jekyll, son of Dr. and Mrs. Jekyll, age 16. I may seem like a responsible normie, but all it takes is a few notes to transform me into whole-eyed, and all bets are off. I hate not being reliable because I never know when I'm going to become Hulk. Worst of all, I never remember anything. I never remember what happened when I regained my identity. I think his character's meant to be a portrayal of DID and similar things. DID mean being dissociative identity disorder. I think that's what his character is meant to portray. I'm not too sure if it's accurate or not, so don't quote me on that. His favourite food? Macaroni and cheese. Oh my gosh, same. Macaroni and cheese is like the best food. Amazing. Love macaroni and cheese. Favourite activity? I'm actually pretty athletic, but not like werewolf athletic, of course. But I like playing basketball, and video games. That is pretty funny, considering we just looked at Claude's profile for his character. Killer style. I like sweater vests and plain styles that are neat and orderly and buttoned down. It may seem a little quiet and dull, but the last thing I need in my life is more loud and flashy. Fair enough. Pet. Crossfade, a chameleon. He can blend into any situation and never call attention to himself. I think all the pets are like... What's the word? They're like the character. I don't know what the word is. It starts with an R, though. Pet peeve. Having to listen to loud music with a beat. It causes me to lose my short-term memory and my long-term dignity. Fair enough. Monster quirk. My dual nature makes it impossible for me to be totally reliable. It's not that I don't try, but it's like a total creep shoot, whether or not I actually follow through on any promise I make. And there's no personal monster, so we'll go to the next one, which is Hyde. I think. It should be. It is. Son of Mr. and Mrs. Hyde. Age 16. I think. Music brings me to unlife, literally. When Jackson Jekyll hears a few notes from any Fierce song, he is transformed into me, the hottest DJ in Monster High. The only thing the two of us have in common, though, is that we both have a crush on Frankie Stone. Interesting. His favourite food? Hot wings. I like them hot enough to make a dragon cry. Can't say I agree with you there, Hyde. That's like my worst nightmare. Mild mustard even is just horrible. Favorite activity? Creating new monster music mixes. I love it when my tunes come alive and I can get all the monsters in the house out on the dance floor. That I can agree with. Dancing is fun. And loud music. Killer style? My style is on fire. No, really, I literally have flames leaping off my body. I'm like my own light show. Okay. I also have the smoke and yin-yang symbol tattooed on my back, and of course, I never go anywhere without my headphones, because you never know when a beat will blaze up. I don't know if the headphones bit is meant to be for Jackson or not. Because it would make more sense for Jackson's character to, like, block out noise. But the way that they've worded it with blaze up suggests that it is for his character. Like, Hulk's character. Not too sure. The pet? Crossfade. He's the best pet ever because change never bothers him. And he totally digs my music. Pet peeve, having to listen to boring music. Seriously, if music can't transform you, it ain't nothing but static. Fair enough, I agree with that. Monster quirk. I've got a bad temper. It's not something I'm proud of, but every once in a while it flares up and I have to spend a lot of time apologising for it. I also have a hard time remembering some things. Agreed. Remembering things is not my strong suit. I think next, I'm not too sure who we have. I think it's Claudia. It might be. I think it is, because it was going alphabetically. We were correct. Claudia Wolf, daughter of the werewolf. age 19. Before heading to Hauntlywood, which is Hollywood in the universe, to pursue my career as a screenwriter, I studied drama. Oh my gosh. I'm misreading things. I studied drama in London. I miss my pack at home, especially Claude, Claudine, and Howleen. While I don't get to visit as often as I'd like, I'm a close and pen pal, especially to Howleen. Favorite food? I love fingers and mash, roast beast? Oh, instead of roast beef. Roast beef and fish and crepes. Crepes? I don't know if that's like an actual food or if it's like a Monster High thing. I kind of like shepherd's pie too, only without the wool. Fair enough. Favorite activity? Writing. I write every day, because if you don't write, you can't call yourself a writer. One day I hope to be a screenwriter in Hauntlywood. Fair enough, that sounds like a great ambition. Killer style. Tribal prep. I love to mix graphic tribal prints with some scholarly flair. And because London is absolutely undead with fashion and literal history, both my brain and my wardrobe benefit. To paraphrase Shakespeare, this is the stuff his screams are made on. I don't understand the reference. I don't know Shakespeare very well. I don't even know if it is a reference. The quote, I mean. Pat, I've been clawing through all my literary references trying to decide what I should get. Maybe I'll choose an albatross or, a raven. Ravens are very smart. Get a raven, they're very fun. And if you get albatross, you get to play the song, I forget what it's called, but I think it's called Albatross. Or Albatross. That's how they pronounce it in the song. And I just paused it. I don't remember where I was, so I might repeat something. Her pet peeve, monsters who ask to borrow my pen. Seriously, I have one pen that I use, I've had it forever, and I don't want it out. It writes perfectly, and I cannot write without it. I agree with that. I have, a very, short pencil that I, always chew with. It was, about the size of... I'm trying to think of something to compare it to. The cap of lip balm. It was about that size, but my drawings somehow turned out really well. Monster quirk. Whenever I think or get nervous, I chew. Pencils, pens, paper clips, gum, corner of my eye coffin. One year Claudine got me a manicure for my birthday, but on the way home from the nail salon, I got an idea for a story, and well, let's just say little sister's not happy with what I chewed on that day. Okay. I think I have a friend that does that as well. Just, chews on things when she gets nervous or thinks a lot. I only got 3 friends there. Which are all her siblings, actually. I think up next we have Deuce Gorgon, which is Cleo Denial's boyfriend. Again, the dolls for the characters. They just look so funny to me. I don't know why, but they tried to advertise them to the girls who were watching the show, and they made them look really funny. Son of Medusa, age 16. To keep from literally turning everyone into stone, I have to wear shades all the time, but I think I make them look scary cool. I love hanging out with my bros, Claude Wolf, Gil Weber, and Heath Burns, but my favourite monster to be with is Cleo Denial. Fair enough. Favourite food? Greek monster fusion is my own creation. I was gonna say, I don't understand that. Favourite activity? Playing basketball and cooking. Fair enough. Killer style, skate shoes, hoodies, and my signature shades. I also rock the Snake Hawk. I get it because I have a mohawk. I think those are meant to be Vans. About in the Monster High universe. Pet Perseus is my two-tailed... Jeez, coughing is evil. Two-tailed rat named for an ancient Greek warrior that his mom knew. She doesn't think it's funny. Perseus. I know who Perseus is, I just forget who he is. I'm trying to think. I don't know. Yeah, I really don't remember who Perseus is. I think he was the guy that in the lore, not like Monster High lore, but Greek mythology and whatnot, killed Medusa. I might be mistaken, but I think that's what happened. Not too sure. I'll have to double check that. Up next, we have someone. Excuse my voice, by the way. Just like almost died coughing. We have someone awesome who is Alyssa Badge, which I did see someone on Space A make a really, really cool layout with her. Like, everywhere. All over their profile. Very fun. Seriously though, don't get sick. Being sick sucks. Alyssa Badge, the daughter of a vampire. Age 1601, which should translate to 16, but that doesn't make sense, because why would she not be in Monster High then? Not sure. When Dracula, Laura, and I were growing up in Transylvania, I always screamed of becoming an actress. But it turns out I'm also the rightful heir to the Vampire Queen throne. When I'm not home ruling the vampire world, you can find me on set as my alter ego, movie star Veronica Von Vamp. That's a reference to something, I just don't remember what it is. Her favourite food? Blood oranges. Like, I forget her name, but I think it's Betsy? We had a look at her earlier, and she liked blood oranges. Her favourite activity? Acting. It might seem strange that I would like acting if I stage right, but I love inhabiting the creatures I play. I agree, Elizabeth, I agree. Killer style. I'm absolutely in love with lace, ruffles, silk, and satin. As long as it's it's black or deep purple. Fair enough, that seems very cool. It's kind of like, it's not stereotypical, like, vampire stuff. Her pet? I played the part of a dragon whisperer in a film once. It was a great role, but I've never translated that into a real on-life pet. Her pet peeve? When I flub a line. I work very hard to learn my parts so I don't make mistakes. And it absolutely drives me batty when I do. Agreed. That would seem very tough. In your career and all that. With the acting. Monster quirk. I have terrible stage fright, so I must be completely prepared before I ever stand in front of an audience. I've been told I'm a natural on stage and in front of the camera, but that's only because I spend hours making sure I have my lines down. It's the only way I can do what I do. Fair enough. that just sounds like it would be very annoying if you, like, accidentally forget your line. And if you have stage fright, that would just make it worse. She has 2 friends. Dracula, and I'm not going to pronounce that. But up next we have Gil Weber. I just had to double check this. Or Gillington Gil Weber. Son of the River Monster, age 16. My freshwater monster parents don't approve of my saltwater girlfriend. And the ocean gives me the chills, but I'm not going to let a few haunting obstacles keep Laguna Blue and I apart. So that may seem like a lot of work for a goal, but she's worth it. Fair enough, that's a good point, because a lot of people, like, when relationships, if something like this happens, they're just like, no, I can't be in a relationship anymore. But I think it's cool that they're portraying that it's good to make an effort, like a really, like, good effort if you like someone. Up next we have the favourite food of Gillington. Seaweed. I know it's a little exotic for a freshwater monster, but I really love it. Fair enough. Favourite activity? I love to swim. I know that might seem like a total no-brainer, but I really do. I guess it would be the same as a dry land monster who likes to run. It really gives me a chance to think through things and clear my gills. Killer style. Going from the water to dry land is a big adjustment, so wearing shorts, tank tops, and flip-flops helps me feel comfortable when I'm walking around and not swimming. Plus, with my helmet, trying to wear anything with a tight collar is totally out of the question. Pet? I don't have a pet right now, but I get to hang out with Laguna's pet, Piranha Neptuna, which is almost like having a pet of my own. Pet peeve: when freshwater monsters talk about seawater creatures like they are some kind of second-class monsters. We're all monsters, and the way to treat each other... Oh, and the way we treat each other means more than what kind of water we summon. That's true. I think they're doing another, attack on racism stereotypes and the same, but in, Monster High context, which is pretty cool. I had to pause it again, because don't get sick. I repeat, just don't get sick. Monster quirk. I'm not proud of it, but I'm afraid of the ocean. Okay, not the water exactly, but the monsters that make their homes there. I know I shouldn't be, but it's taken me a long time to get over something I've been afraid of since I was just a small fry. Fortunately for me, Laguna is helping me get over that fear. That's a good point to make as well. Some people who grow up with, around racist people typically tend to adapt that, but they don't agree with it, really. I like that they're portraying it in this context. Personal monster. Calm? What? Okay, I don't understand what that means. It may not sound exciting, but I'm good at soothing tensions and keeping the peace. I don't like making waves. Fair enough, that's not a good thing to do, making waves, as he said. Only his two friends, though. I thought he had more on the show. Who knows? We are going to end this here, mainly because this was going to be the first part, because there are so many of them to go over. So we're just going to end the video here and then pick it up another day. So thank you for watching, and if you're a Monster High fan, I will put the link of this in the description, and if I can't link it, I'll put the name of the website. But we sadly don't have an outro yet, so goodbye, people.